Ollie Behrman hit the barrier at 50G at Suzuka because another car ran out of battery mid-corner. That's not racing. That's a software problem. And every driver on the grid just said, enough. And Hamilton isn't standing alone anymore. The current world champion backed the movement too, while Lando Norris made it clear the drivers are fully connected on this issue. We're all very aligned with that. That's something we're working on, Lando said. The message is loud now. The grid wants influence, not just instructions. For months, Max Verstappen looked like the only guy willing to fight back. He slammed the rules, called some of the changes anti-racing, and even hinted he could walk away from Formula One completely. A lot of people brushed it off like frustration after tough races, but now it's obvious he saw the bigger problem before everyone else did. Hamilton, Norris, and the rest of the drivers are now backing the same concerns with something much more powerful: a push for real institutional control inside the sport. With 22 drivers standing together, the FIA could be staring at its biggest internal battle in decades. Norris explained it perfectly, saying, "From first place to last place, we all want the same thing. We all just want to go flat out, race closely, and at the same time, that's the show that the fans want." This drama is no longer just about battery management or super clipping anymore. Now it's about who truly controls Formula One's future. And the drivers are done staying quiet. Max Verstappen may have started this fight alone, but now the entire grid is starting to rally behind him. Max Verstappen hated the 2026 regulations from day one, and he never stayed quiet about it. The new 50-50 split between internal combustion and electric power completely changed the way drivers had to race. Instead of pushing at full speed every lap, drivers were lifting, coasting, and constantly trying to recharge batteries during qualifying runs. For fans expecting non-stop action, it started looking more like energy management than real racing. If you want to keep up with whether the drivers actually win more power inside Formula One, hit subscribe and turn on notifications, because this fight is only getting bigger. Verstappen came out swinging against the new rules. He openly called the system anti-racing, and even questioned how long he wanted to stay in Formula One under these conditions. At first, a lot of people brushed off his comments like they were just emotional reactions from a frustrated champion. Red Bull had fallen hard, dropping from title favourites to 4th in the Constructors' standings, while Verstappen slipped down to 7th in the Drivers' Championship. Critics started saying maybe he was just upset about losing races. But then more voices started joining him, and suddenly the situation looked a lot more serious. Carlos Sainz, acting as chairman of the GPDA, the one group that actually speaks for the people driving these cars, they've had enough. And this time, they're not asking, they're demanding. Happened after Franco Colapinto's battery depleted mid-corner, creating a massive speed difference of around 50 kilometers per hour between the cars. The closing speed was so extreme that it sparked real fears across the paddock about driver safety. That moment changed everything. The GPDA began organizing behind the scenes, with drivers holding private meetings and discussing the growing problems caused by battery management, superclipping, and unpredictable speed gaps on track. Instead of isolated complaints, the FIA suddenly faced a united grid speaking with one voice. The FIA eventually responded with regulation tweaks before Miami. Maximum recharge levels were cut from 8 megajoules to 7. Peak superclip power jumped from 250 kilowatts to 350, and race condition boost was capped at plus 150 kilowatts. The updates helped calm some concerns, but drivers still believed the core issue remained untouched. The biggest problem never disappeared. The controversial 50-50 power split was still there, and many drivers felt it continued to hurt the racing itself. Battery management was still taking over races, and the frustration inside the paddock kept growing. Even after the FIA made changes, drivers still felt like they were spending more time protecting energy than actually racing flat out. Then Lewis Hamilton stepped into the conversation at Miami and pushed the debate to a whole new level. "All the drivers, we do work together, we all meet, But the fact is we don't have a seat at the table, Hamilton told the media, including GPB log. That statement hit hard because Hamilton wasn't just asking for small fixes anymore. He was calling out the entire power structure inside Formula One. Ferrari's 2026 power unit was built around specific deployment strategies. The rule changes mid-season directly affected their competitiveness. Hamilton isn't just speaking as a driver, he's speaking as someone whose car's core advantage just got legislatively weakened. Hamilton made it clear this wasn't about adjusting one or two bad rules. He wants drivers involved when the regulations are being created in the first place. We do engage with the FIA and F1, Hamilton continued. F1's more often a little bit more responsive, but being that we're not stakeholders, we don't have a seat at the table currently, which I think needs to change. That word, stakeholders, changed the whole conversation. Right now, the FIA creates the regulations, the teams negotiate behind the scenes, and the commercial side helps shape where the sport goes next. But the drivers, the people risking everything every race weekend, still have no official influence when major decisions get made. That's the system Hamilton is challenging now. And the support came fast. Lando Norris quickly backed Hamilton's demand, showing this isn't just one superstar speaking out alone anymore. The reigning world champion made it clear the drivers are standing together as one group, no matter where they sit on the grid. From championship leaders to drivers fighting near the back, the message is exactly the same. They want pure racing back, less energy saving, less battery juggling, and more wheel-to-wheel action that actually lets drivers push their cars to the limit every single lap. Having a seat at the table, it's something we've spoken about as the GPDA, Norris explained. We're all very aligned with that. That statement made one thing crystal clear. This is no longer just Lewis Hamilton or Lando Norris sharing personal opinions. The Grand Prix Drivers Association is now acting as a united front, and Formula One's drivers are openly pushing for real institutional change inside the sport. What makes this situation even bigger is that the drivers aren't pretending to know everything. Norris openly admitted there are parts of Formula One's business world that competitors don't fully see behind the scenes. Sometimes I think we have to accept, as drivers, we're very blindsided to the externals from a business side of things, how teams work, how all of that is organized, Norris said. That word, blindsided, says a lot about how disconnected drivers feel from major decisions. Regulations are often finalized before drivers even get meaningful input. By the time they hear about the changes, the rules are already locked in, and they're expected to adjust without much say at all. That frustration has clearly been building for a long time behind closed doors. Still, Norris wasn't claiming drivers are perfect or always right. We have to accept that we're maybe not always completely correct, he admitted. But even with that honesty, he believes the drivers understand one important thing better than anyone else: what actually creates exciting racing. But I think the majority of things that we think of as drivers and what we want for the sport is a win-win. It's better for us, and it's better for the fans, and that's our side of things. That's the core of the entire battle right now. Drivers want less artificial energy saving, more freedom to push hard, and closer wheel-to-wheel racing. Exactly the kind of action fans tune in to see every weekend. The drivers may all agree on what they want, but actually making those changes happen inside Formula One is a completely different battle. Lando Norris admitted the situation is far more complicated than fans might realize. It's just how some of those things are not always able to be easily implemented because of how the sport is as a whole, the money and the cost of things and all that, regulations, rules, Norris explained. That one quote exposes the real problem behind the scenes. Formula One isn't just a sport anymore. It's a massive business machine filled with manufacturers, billion-dollar investments, sponsorship pressure, technical limits, and strict regulations. Teams are protecting budgets, engine suppliers are protecting projects, and the FIA is trying to balance everything at once. Meanwhile, drivers are stuck trying to fight for racing that actually feels exciting and natural again. Even with all those complications, Norris believes drivers deserve a real role in shaping the future of the sport. It's something that we want. It's what they have in a lot of other sports, he said. And honestly, he's got a point. In other major sports, athletes already have much stronger influence. NBA players negotiate through powerful player associations. NFL athletes have collective bargaining rights. Even NASCAR drivers reportedly have more structured input when rule changes are discussed. But in Formula One, the GPDA still doesn't have official stakeholder status when regulations are decided. Right now, the GPDA mainly acts as an advisory group that the FIA can either listen to or completely brush aside. Norris explained it clearly. It's more of just a louder voice at times, rather than, "Drivers want this. Why are you not doing it?" That's the key difference. The drivers are not demanding total control or trying to run Formula One themselves. They're not asking for veto power over every decision. What they want is much simpler: a stronger voice, earlier involvement, and the ability to influence the direction of the sport before major rules are locked in behind closed doors. At the minute, we don't have that, Norris concluded. So it's more we just can't voice our opinion as much as we would like, but that's something we're working on. That final line says everything. This isn't just random frustration boiling over after a few bad races. The GPDA is actively pushing for more institutional power inside Formula One right now, and the timing couldn't be more important. The FIA recently confirmed more regulation changes are already coming for 2027, including a shift away from the controversial 50-50 power split. The new plan reportedly moves toward a 60-40 balance, favoring the internal combustion engine, which is much closer to what drivers have been asking for since this whole debate exploded. But even with those adjustments, many drivers still feel the process itself is broken. These changes only arrived after months of complaints, public criticism, private meetings, and serious safety scares on track. From the driver's perspective, it should never take that much pressure just to get the FIA's attention. That's exactly why Hamilton and Norris keep repeating the same message. They want official involvement before regulations are finalized, not emergency fixes after problems already damage the racing. They believe drivers should help shape the rules from the beginning instead of reacting after decisions are locked in behind closed doors. Formula One CEO Stefano Domenicali praised Miami as truly wonderful after the latest updates took effect, but not everyone inside the paddock agrees with that optimism. Several drivers still believe the core issues remain unresolved, especially when it comes to battery management and how artificial some races now feel. Max Verstappen, who was one of the first major voices to attack the regulations publicly, hasn't backed down at all. The difference now is that he's no longer standing alone. Hamilton and Norris have joined the fight, and they're pushing for something much bigger than simple rule changes. The 2027 shift to 60-40 is already confirmed. But the real story isn't the regulation change, it's who forced it. For the first time in F1 history, the drivers didn't just complain, they organized, and the FIA blinked. The question now is, what happens when they want more than just a seat at the table? Drop a comment. Do the drivers deserve real power, or should they just drive the car? Don't forget to like and subscribe if you want the technical breakdown of the 2027 rules.